house. Ideally, you'd want to lug the batteries up into the roof, but practically speaking, you're probably going to have to chalk up the little bit of inefficiency to let them sit in the house or in a shed or something, because you're not going to put 10 tons of batteries into the roof of your house.
Yeah. But if
But
you
if you're
have,
going for purely idealized systems, that's what you'll go for.
but if you have normally what they do is, for standard installation on a house, if you were gonna do a airtime system, and you were gonna do it, they have different types of inverters. You basically have the regular, 220, 240 volt, grid tie converter. And that might be for like 1 or 2 panels. So you can basically have 220 line going all the way up to the roof. And then you actually have an inverter strapped to the back of your solar panel.
Okay.
And then you run the 220 volt AC line going through the inverter. So you don't actually have to worry about your DC loss when you put it somewhere else.
Okay, and once you convert it to AC, your losses will be way less just by the nature of
Yeah,
AC.
you don't have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah, AC voltage, you're talking miles before you lose a significant portion of your power, whereas DC, you're talking dozens of feet sometimes, depending on what your setup is.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
And then the other way that they do it is they use a string inverter. But string inverters are a lot more dangerous. There's a lot of people that have actually died from string inverters.
What is a string inverter?
String inverter is basically like where they tie all of the solar panels into series. So basically one big solar panel.
Okay.
So, and then sometimes that'll go up to like 600 volts DC.
Maybe a half a watt, or maybe a half an amp, but still way more than enough.
No, that would be like high amperage, 600 volts DC. And then you'd have the 2 lines on your roof going down to your basement or wherever you have that string inverter, and then tie that into your panel.
And then your high voltage from your DC, if you're talking of, that the higher the voltage is driven, the less you're going to notice the loss.
Yeah. But I mean, that's sort of why they switched over to parallel grid tie inverters.
Okay.
So the big difference is, and what I'm trying to stress to everyone, is instead of having one huge 2,000 watt string inverter in your basement that has to take 600 volts DC from your roof, something that's kind of flammable if you have 2 really high voltage
Just all
lines.
kinds of dangerous for you in your house.
Yeah. I mean, just imagine being on the roof with 2 wires, or trying to like reconnect a solar panel that might have come loose or something.
Yeah,
And
get a target cover done first.
yeah.
Seems like Back to the Future where he's trying to like plug the cord back in, and then lightning strikes.
So it's either you're on your roof during a hot day trying to fix it, probably not, or you're on your roof at night in the dark trying to plug in your panels, and at least there's no voltage going through there.
But you're
Still on a roof, a very high place in the dark.
there's no unprecarious situation for installing
Preferably
those.
alone.
Whereas
Drunk.
otherwise, you would be working with, under 50 some odd volts, which means it's under the voltage necessary to conduct through your skin easily. So you're not likely to shock yourself, let alone kill yourself.
Yeah.
Because it's usually about 50 some odd volts, depending on whether you're sweaty or wet or whatever, is where you start feeling the tingle from the shock coming through you. It's 24 if you get it into an open wound. I know that personally because of my welder touching me somewhere that I can verify that. But that's actually why they don't make cars with higher voltage systems than they do, because if you were to, or like golf carts and stuff like that, and most you'll ever see on a golf cart is 48 volts, because that's the highest voltage that you can get out of 12 volt batteries and still have it be a significantly strong amount of power without being likely to kill somebody if they grab the positive and the negative over here. Even a big golf cart, you can grab both of those wires, it's not going to hurt you. Whereas if they made it one battery more, it could potentially make you grab it.
So, just a comparison, you have, like here, you have a difference of 600 volts on your DC side, and you probably have 240, 220 with a string inverter. So 600 and 240, as opposed to 24 volts from your solar panel instead of the 600, and 220 or 240.
Which is gonna be tied in with your regular breaker panel system that's not, it's easier for more electricians to handle safely
Yeah.
and, more controlled fashion that they're used to.
And the cheapest plus.
Yep.
Instead of having a wire that's, this big, a wire that's, normal.
Yeah. It looks more like a washing machine or a dryer hose or dryer power cable instead of, jumper cables. So you got that.
So, I've got, one bicycle source off, I'm gonna see it up here. And, these are little, small, scary little wafers. Yeah.
I wanted picking up like 3 of those things one time without even realizing I'm like, oh, these are thin.
Well, these are individual, huh?
If those are individual, they each have about a half volt.
Wow.
Yeah, and they're really fragile too, so.
It's like, I mean, you were just on a type of wire.
See where that white tab is? That's where it's all from.
That'd be your positive.
That's positive.
That's positive. That's a negative. That's a positive.
So it's actually got that. And do you know whether are the white lines across this part that actually was collecting it to the center?
I can see. Yeah, this is from the web, or not, it's being sealed.
Purpose for this.
I'm assuming they probably get rid of this one. They're probably making the big sheets and then snapping them all.
Good writing is stable.
So if you look on make up this probably so.
What's that cool thing?
Give the teacher.
Actually, two.
And what it feels and looks and noise and squeaks.
What does this have to do with solar?
Next time.
And I saw something. What happens when you stick this?
That's stuff that is
Here.
schoolhouse work. On the fire.
Living on fresh.
I got here about,
I'm impressed.
I got here probably around
Hey,
1 year or so. And the line, so you know, reflects right at that person behind you.
I'd stand in and do it, but
It's all day, it's power.
So you can get our work.
you know where to take out the,
Motors.
no, we've already explained this to Ryan. Remember, it's my birthday, I'll do something else.
That's not even.
It's basically like.
he had a sudden birthday.
Turning off the.
I forgot about it too yesterday.
So, let's just say you use multiple magnets.
Big battery. Right?
No bad.
I don't want your lemons.
Oh, yeah, I was reading about these.
No, no,
You know, that
so, you know,
guy did solar panels.
solar energy with lemon power, right?
Fully powered by the magnet. That's one.
That's what we experiment. No, somebody. No, I was thinking maybe it's lit or something. Okay, let's try this thing about.
Yeah.
And then actually get up a magnet near it.
Started.
Yeah, that's what you do. You always gotta, because
I think that's a big concept.
2 volts, they make it 26 volt panel, which is, you know, half, and typically
The light go up for that.
because in nominal sunlight, this is in full direct sunlight, you go
Oh,
to
yeah,
the
well,
valley.
actually-
But I mean, like,
Yeah, I don't think it works on large scale, but
Not only they want it to make closer to 8 volts, and by the time they put a freeze on it,
it's like one day.
it can be a very steady 14 volt charge of batteries with or without.
As soon as you put like a real load on there, it's gonna
Amperage.
cut out.
And initially you can run
You can
all
still
your lights out, make lights out.
You know, even at 18 volts. so
Make it
about-
efficient.
I kind of want to see what you could do with that. You looked at the output to
I've got these other things. Well, I've got- It's 45 watts.
So the same,
This is maybe 2/3 of the size of it.
So we got this.
unfortunately,
We got magnets.
they don't south facing. So, on this side, all big, south facing. So we can line them up, we know that,
Unless we make some, we're jutting.
on this.
Yeah, I guess we could do that, just in
Working on the terms.
Yeah.
Kind of like, as long as the sun's above a certain
One motor,
spot.
talking about this.
Then we have to go on